All right, so this is episode 29 of Oluswole, the podcast on the budget. I'm excited to welcome our guest. On a budget, yeah, for real. I'm excited to welcome our guest. He is one of the voices of tomorrow and a Florida boy. Joey, what's good?
What's up, Timmy? Glad to be on here.
Yeah, I appreciate you for coming on. Just for a little bit of context, like we met at Penn earlier this semester. Kind of similar to the same way I met the other Joey, just through like, you guys are roommates, so you're in the opposite suite from me, and that's how we got to know each other.
That's right.
Yeah, we here now.
That's right.
Yeah, yes, sir. How's it been like this year compared to last year?
You know, it's been great. So I know we've had a lot of COVID stuff going on, especially freshman year, and now it's been really loosening up now. You can see it in like the dining halls where we can self-serve now for the first time ever. Was that like last week it came on, and it really feels like we're getting back to normal. You know, people out in the streets going wild, doing all crazy stuff, but it feels good, man. It feels like we're in college now.
Yeah, for real. We're gonna be eating good at Hill now.
That's right.
Yeah,
Hill's been getting better. You
yeah,
think so? Once they got those skillets, that's when it changed up.
For real. They even upping their budget. I don't know, like their bag has been increasing or something because they've been treating us a little different. I'm not complaining though. So
yeah, I think Hill for sure is better than Commons now. Are you on
I was always on that way.
Always on that?
Yeah.
It went back and forth for me, but I think it's for sure now. The food's getting better, a lot more variety. Like, I think it's getting better now.
For sure, yeah. You're on the right side of campus now.
For real, yeah. Yeah, I don't have to walk all the way across. Yeah, you know, last year when they had the waffle bar, I don't know, do you remember that?
I wasn't really going to Commons like that.
Yeah, so. that was the peak, I think. They had a full serve waffle bar. You make your waffle, get the whipped cream on it, blueberries, chocolate syrup. Like, that's when it was popping. And Hill was they were getting not that much variety. You know, that was the biggest thing with Hill. It's the same stuff. But now these days, they really diversified, if you notice.
For real.
Yeah.
Going crazy. So they had blueberries, but they didn't have any Faygo? Like,
no blueberry Faygo, man. You got to bring it into every conversation, man. No, I understand, though. I understand when your favorite artist, everyone hates. You know, I'm a big Kodak Black fan. So.
Yeah. And we're going to get into that later in the pod. But, you know, first of all, you know, you did a little bit of, you're from Florida, from Tallahassee, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Tallahassee.
You did a little bit of cross country, and you're kind of nice with it. You know, 800 meters, personal best was like 2 minutes, 11 seconds. 1600 was 447.
You kind of went on my mile split. I see. Okay. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah. How'd you get into that?
Running, man. So it's a funny story. Like, I was always a soccer player through elementary school, through middle school. And I didn't run until 8th grade track. So that was the last half of 8th grade. And one of my friends told me to just sign up, right? And even during soccer, I was at soccer. You know, I was never good. And I knew I had to find something else. So by the time of like 8th grade, 9th grade summer, I started looking. And one of my soccer friends who I was really close with at the time, he told me to come out to cross country practice. And I went out, and I remember it was so hot. And there was no shade, like 100 degrees outside. And I was like, damn, this was a terrible idea. But, you know, I stuck with it, and cross country running, that became my thing. Yeah, even when I said I was at soccer, but even during that time, I was always a little better than everyone else at running. That's what I noticed. So, you know, it was more of a necessity thing just because of how bad I was at everything else. But I stuck with it, and running became my thing.
Man, so you're running through the six with your woes and everything.
You know how it is.
You know how it goes, man. But that's really cool. So you said, I guess you had a bit of a natural affinity for the sport then. I mean, did you feel like in your first running session where, like, was it really strenuous in terms of, you know, stamina and stuff like that? Or was it easy due to your own soccer experience?
You know, it wasn't something that I wasn't used to, but I remember that first day going out and seeing all the fast people, right? And they were a whole, like, lap ahead of me, and they'd lap me. And I remember thinking, you know, I'm never going to be that fast, right? And, you know, turns out just that season, they became like a lot of my best friends, and I ended up getting to run with them through high school, and it was really cool because, you know, I never really thought that I would actually be good at running, just because of how hard it was that first day and that first week, first months. But, you know, I stuck with it, and I remember telling my dad when we printed out our schedule for cross country, seeing at the bottom it says districts. And I remember telling my dad, that's for the 7 best runners, and you don't have to worry about that. We're not going to Jacksonville. But then we did. I took the 7th spot from a guy, one of my best friends too, and got to run there, and I kept going.
Nice. A little bit of perseverance, huh? Led to some nice results.
Yeah, I remember back then it was so easy to start dropping times, getting faster. Got a lot harder after that, but those first days it was just exhilarating.
Yeah, I feel like for me, I'm not a very sporty person, obviously, but when it came to anything long distance or stamina related, I could never do it. I get that little spicy feeling in my lungs. I just feel like, oh my gosh, I can't. My butt will start hurting when I'm running.
I mean, there's nothing else like it in my opinion, because it's not something where there's no luck, right? There's nothing except yourself and your mind. It's just all in your mind. You're running. And I don't know if you know, but even every single race, every single second, you just want to stop. And it takes everything, like literally everything inside of you to not just stop where you are and pretend you're hurt, or it's, knowing it's too much or something, because it just hurts so bad, man. That's why I don't even do it anymore. I can't get myself to race, but you miss it because it's, finishing is like nothing else in the world either. But man, like during the race, it's just not like nothing else compares, man.
Yeah. When you say nothing else compares, do you ever get runner's high when you're running?
Yeah, I mean, when I'm not running fast, and you're running for a longer period of time, you can really get in the zone. And I mean, that's why I run still, right? I'm not running to train. I'm not running to get faster. But now I just run to really reset mentally, take care of myself, go out and see new things in the city. And on good days, when you're just running, you really click into gear. Everything goes like HD, and you're just going and going. You can't slow down. So that's the best feeling in the world too.
Does it go 4K instead of HD?
4K, that's right. We live in HD already.
Yeah.
You really just, your vision kind of opens up. You can see all the way around you, and it's really nice.
That's dope. Where do you be running in Philly? Like, where do you go?
Yeah, so the basic route is you go right down to the Schuylkill and take the ramp down into the Schuylkill Trail.
Oh.
And then you go out to the art museum. And if you're feeling a little adventurous, you go straight into the city, take a turn, and see where the lights take you, right? If it's a walk this way, you go just on the street corners. It's a fun game I play. And then if you're really adventurous, you go out into West Philly, and yeah, it's a funny story. I just went out there the other week, and I've been meaning to go out there. There's something called Bartram's Garden. I don't know if you heard about it, but I've been looking for it for 2 years now, because I was thinking about it. I saw it even before I came to Penn, and ran down there, and abandoned factories on this side, trash everywhere, no one out here, really sus. But I actually popped out, and there was a little trail, and went out there. There's a little garden there. People were picking like apples or something, or they were like cleaning up a little orchard. It was nice.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's definitely like the Schuylkill River Trail is really pretty. I've been down there a few times. Like that Sierra Green area, I'm pretty familiar with like that part. But it's just like, it's nice being able to absorb the sounds of the city and the nature and like the people. That's what I like about being in Philly. Like it's a real city, It's moving, it's jumping.
Yeah.
And if you're running, I'm sure you're taking all that in,
Yeah. We're really blessed, because I think where Penn is, you can go so many different ways, right? If you take the Schuylkill down, it just goes right into the river, opens up, and you're right in nature, right? And then you can go through Fairmont. It's all just trees and really beautiful. But then also you go through the city, and it's so vibrant, especially like these days as the weather gets better. Yeah, I just ran through Rittenhouse the other day, and man, there was so much people, so much life, and I really like that kind of stuff. So
yeah, that's dope, man. But yeah, still on topic of running, you were all Ben's second team, in I think senior year.
All Big Bend.
Big Bend. Yeah. How is it like, being one of the top runners in your conference?
That was a really crazy moment for me because I really struggled with my times in running starting sophomore year. So through freshman year, I told you that it was just like an absolute like thrill, just dropping, getting faster and faster and faster. And then about halfway through sophomore year, it kind of all crashed down. Like I hurt my knee, hurt my calf, hurt, basically any part of your leg that you can think of. And I actually also passed out during a race once. And, that's a whole different story that I can get into later. But, and I really lost my mental edge because before that I ran almost fearlessly. And once I knew that there's a limit to what you can do, it really messed with me mentally where my body would really kind of rein me in before I thought I could like keep going. So, I really struggled with it, and it took a lot of kind of refocusing on what I really wanted. And, by senior year summer, I kind of found why I wanted to run again, kind of that joy of running, just going out, like we were talking about, like seeing the city, seeing the nature. And once I kind of refocused that, my time started getting better. And, senior year, I finally, in the 5K, which is in cross country, right? I finally ran faster than I did sophomore year. And that was the first time in 2 years.
Wow.
Right. And if that's kind of crazy. You never not running faster than what you were when you were 16, right? And you're 18, you're looking back. And I finally did that right through the season. And I just kept going and kept going. And I had a really good race, a few races before districts. And that was when it really all came together.
Tell me about the Jimmy Everett Invitational. Like, was that a district competition or what was it like?
Yeah, Jimmy Everett is actually my school's old athletic director. I didn't get to know him, but he passed away due to either Lou Gehrig's, I think. So then they named the track after him, and they named one of our meets after him. And are you talking about a track meet? I think it was an invitational,
so I don't know how that works. I'm not like really well versed in it. So
yeah. So it probably was a track meet where all the schools around us come to our school to race, whether around the track. I think it was a track race. I don't think he has a cross country race then, but the one I can remember is probably when I PR'd in the 800, which I only ran that race maybe 2 or 3 times during high school. 210 is not that fast. Like people be hitting that in workouts, but those are always fun because I get to warm up on my own track, go out into the park, which is right by our school, and then see everyone else running where we always run our workouts.
That's really dope. You said 211 or 210 isn't good, but I was on Quora looking at like the different kind of times for the 800 meters and like what's considered good and bad. And they said anything under 240. Someone commented anything under 245 is considered excellent. And that was the highest category. And so you're 30 seconds under that. So.
It's all relative. When one of my best friends, our school, also the issue was our school was really good at the 8. So our school took a team to New Balance Nationals, and at that point, all the kids are running like 155.
Wow.
Right. So you're talking like that's where like the top kids are running in our area in high school. Maybe like 1 or 2 kids are going under 150 in the country, but 155 you're probably gonna go D1. But being surrounded by people like that, 210 is nothing at that point. But it's fine.
Yeah, it's all relative, I guess.
Yeah.
But you're also interested in public policy and urban studies.
That's right.
I know you wrote a bill on electronic, a bill on waste.
Yeah.
And it got passed.
Yeah. You're like Nardwuar. You know that guy? Yeah, Nardwuar?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was back in junior year summer. This thing called Boy State. Are you familiar with that?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, so Boy State is when they get like, a few hundred kids from every state, bring them together for a week, and they basically run a fake government. So you start off in like the city government, and with you have like your city, which is like 40 kids maybe, and then it's only a week, so like the next day you're doing county, which is like 2 cities, then you go to state level, then you're elected governor and different things like that. So I was elected into, Florida's Senate, and I was a senator. That was probably the most boring thing I ever written, but it was fun because I didn't realize, how was it supposed to go. So wrote it up. Most of the kids didn't even write a bill, but put it in, got it passed, and just by the virtue of being long and boring, it was voted best bill because no one could understand what it meant. It was crazy. This is Florida we're talking, so everything else. And I won't even speak on what other bills were being passed, but this was one of the more normal ones. So that's why, it got what it got.
I thought it was the actual Senate when I read about it. I was like, whoa, we had a bill.
That's what I was wondering why you brought it up, but no, they should though. They should. I remember reading up on it. They should pass the electronic waste recycling bill or whatever. But maybe I actually had a friend who worked for the current governor's policy team, and he actually did submit it as a proposal, but I don't think it got passed, unfortunately.
I'm sure there's probably a bit of a dichotomy between the views of, people your age versus people actually making the decisions. So especially these days, Florida's politics are very disjointed currently. So it's in the headlines for all the wrong reasons right now, right? So no one really cares about electronic waste. None of my peers did. I don't really either, but so some of the other ones they were passing, they probably should have, but what can you say? You finessed all of them though. So gotta give you kudos.
Yeah, it was one of those bills. It was one of maybe 2 that got passed unanimously in the Senate because I did a lot of arm wrangling, and like I said, no one knew what it meant, so they just decided it was cool and passed it without even debating on it. So
yeah, a little bit of lobbying here and there,
Yeah. I had to sell my soul though, but it was worth get that electronic waste figured out.
Yeah, for real. But you're studying urban studies, and I'm seeing when I was doing my notes, I noticed a lot of ties to public policy and wanting to do good for other people. Where did that come from?
Yeah, so I was always interested in politics, probably. I can't speak on where it started, but in high school, one of the biggest things that happened was in 2017, there was a school shooting at Parkland, Florida, the Stoneman Douglas shooting. And I remember that day sitting in class, and it was like nothing that we ever experienced before. We were all scared, We were sitting in a building that was like the same building that got shot up, right? It was like a freshman building in the side, and we were in like the same type of building, you know what I mean? Like kind of out in the open, just kind of separated from the other school. So we were all sitting there. And, the next day, probably not the next day, like the next week, a lot of the kids, like the Parkland kids, the Stoneman Douglas kids came up to Tallahassee to advocate for some bill. I don't remember exactly what it was, but probably something to do with like raising the age to buy a handgun or something. And they all gave us the school day off, and I remember a lot of people went to the rally in front of the state capitol, where Tallahassee is the capital. So I remember standing there, and it was all the kids, and they were all really, really mad. And that's right when I kind of decided that I wanted to go into public policy or politics.
That's a cool origin story. I mean, not the story itself, but like not the reason for the story is not cool, obviously, but like the fact that something so real happened and that spurred you to decide your career path is pretty interesting.
I mean, it was crazy because like those Stoneman kids that we saw that day wouldn't go on to get on the Time cover. They did the March for Our Lives rally in DC. They were on national news, international news. And it was really crazy because it's debatable whether anything actually happened from that, but they really got the discussion going. And it was all just a bunch of high schoolers. And that really showed me and showed a lot of my friends too, I think, that you could actually make a change in that way.
For real, yeah. I mean, I guess as the Golden State Warriors say, there's strength in numbers.
That's right. Right. Strength in numbers. That was their march on DC. I think it was the biggest since Martin Luther King's.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of parallels, and it really felt like something historical. Probably wasn't, nothing really happened, but in that moment, it was a very like powerful, moving experience for me.
Yeah, definitely. It sounds like it. And is it still talking about, your interest in public policy and stuff? You started the Trojan Voices website. Tell me about what that's about.
Yeah, that's kind of a meme, but yeah, one of my close friends, he goes to Columbia now. He started this club. It was the National English Honor Society, where we all went and just hung out at lunch in one of our favorite teachers' rooms. But Trojan Voices, it really started off as something that we wanted to get going because our school, we didn't have a newspaper, we didn't have a blog or anything like that. So we decided, maybe it'd be good to have some sort of website or platform that students can use to express themselves and express their ideas. So when we got that off the ground, it was just a basic Weebly site, and we'd get people to write blogs on whatever they wanted. A lot of op-eds. That's mostly what it was. Got one of my friends to write like some fiction too, and we all posted it online. And I wonder if that's still there, but it went on for maybe like 3 years before it kind of died out. But it was a cool experience there.
That's dope. Was there what was your main role? Were you like the editor in chief, or what were you doing?
I guess you could call it that. It was it was really just we were winging it, so there weren't any roles or anything. But yeah, I'd go through, edit the op-eds, edit people's papers, and then run the website. That's what my main role was, actually, getting the website up. I was good with Weebly, so we started it there, and then we had to move it to WordPress because Weebly's domain was really expensive. And then I had to learn WordPress. It was hard, but yeah, website design, I guess, curator. You can call me that. Yeah.
Okay. So you're a bit of a UX guy as well?
No. Weebly's drag and drop, bro. I was good at dragging and dropping, nothing else, but cool, yeah.
Interesting. A man of many talents.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
But, talking still on the topic of, writing and publishing articles, I know you wrote for the South Florida Sun Sentinel. You're talking about your experience during the pandemic as a senior. Tell me about how that was like for you.
Yeah, that was interesting. That actually started from Boise State. It was an opportunity from a congressman named Bob Inglis, who was a Republican House of Representatives member who got kicked out because he said climate change was real. It was a very interesting story. It's America, But he started this organization where we'd get like young people and traditionally not people who were not excited about climate change, like Republicans, independents, and they tried to kind of get the message out that this isn't just a partisan thing. It's something that we should all be worried about. And through that organization, I got to write an op-ed. I can't really remember exactly what it was about, but something to do with the pandemic, kind of focusing us to maybe we got to figure out, we got to really work on these existential issues and crises. I think that's the angle I took, right? Because COVID was showing us that, we're not as strong and untouchable as we thought.
Is there, obviously, COVID is a disease, right? So it's affecting people in terms of their physical health, but physical health reasons aside, was there a way COVID impacted you the most? Let me rephrase that. Is there a non-disease related way that COVID impacted you significantly?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is that my brother's immunocompromised, right? So it really changed the way I had to act around my friends and the way I acted outside, because it wasn't just about me, because obviously this isn't a disease that affects us that much, so it's easy to kind of write it off sometimes. But with my family and my brother specifically, there was almost a level of kind of guilt when going out and doing stuff, because you don't want to get your family sick. So I really had to change my behaviors, and what that kind of became, was I did a lot of stuff outside, running outside a lot, Playing all random stuff, spikeball, disc golf, racquetball, trying all these different kinds of sports that you can do outside, right? And that was a big part of quarantine for me. 2020 was getting outside, trying not to do things where I had to be in contact with a lot of people, especially when you're inside.
Yeah, spikeball definitely goes crazy. Yeah, like that's a fun game to play. I started playing in college and I rate it.
Yeah, me and my friends, we were lucky because we got on it early, so it's really fun. I love playing it out here. We're trying to start a club, man. So
for real?
Yeah, spikeball club, round net club, or something. We don't know what to call it yet, but we got it approved. It's on the SAC website. So,
oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah. I'll send you the invite for that.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah. Who's we in terms of starting it?
Me, Alex Tuller.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this guy Nick Spazovic or something. Nicholas Tenrero. Some guys. Yeah. We're the ballers of Penn when it comes to spikeball. I ain't gonna lie, but yeah, we really want to get something off the ground because everyone's out here playing. It's really weird, right? Everyone's out here playing. You see it all the time, but there's no club here. Yeah, and we want to try to start that.
Yeah, be one of the first movers into the industry, start a new wave.
Yeah, it's funny. I remember talking to one of my professors. Shout out Professor Meredith, Mark Meredith, in the poli-sci department. But he said that, I was talking to him about being a first adopter for spikeball, and he started telling me he started playing in 2005. So maybe we weren't that fast, but yeah, I think it's starting to get more mainstream these days. So
for real. I'd be walking past New College House West, and I see hella people just playing spikeball outside.
Crazy, man. It's really nice. It's really cool to see a lot of people adapting and picking up something that I've played for a long time now.
Yeah, definitely. And it's definitely I like how it engages your mind. Like you got to be able to. It's kind of like catching rebounds in basketball, like knowing how the ball is gonna move before it bounces off the net.
Oh yeah. It's a lot of sense, and some things it's really hard to teach it or kind of pick it up consciously, but knowing where to put out your foot or your hand to bounce the ball off, those things, it seems random, but once you play over time, you find that some people they're just always in the right place at the right time. And every single time it seems like an accident, but they do it every time, so there's something working deep inside.
For sure, yeah, definitely nice with it. Moving away from that, I know you talked about liking Kodak Black.
Of course.
You're a Florida boy.
Florida boy, yeah.
And some of my favorite Kodak Black songs are Transportin'.
Of course.
Transportin', what's the other one? It's like the one with X-Tentacion.
Oh, yeah, Roll in Peace.
Roll in Peace, yeah. But I also really like Dying to Live. That's one of my favorite albums ever.
Oh yeah. No, it's one of mine too.
Yeah.
Actually. Yeah, I remember when that came out. I don't know if you remember the Bill Clinton, like the album cover.
Yeah,
that was one of my albums. It was that let me think. It was a Rod Wave album, I think. An X album, Skins, the one after he died, and then a Pink Floyd album. I really liked I forget which one, but yeah, I mean, Dying to Live was it was like our senior year, I think, and I'd been listening to him for probably starting sophomore year, maybe freshman year, and yeah, Dying to Live is a very good album, and I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah, what were some of your favorite songs off of it?
Transgression. That's one of my favorite songs by him. When You're Lying, I'm Flying. That's classic. I mean, I like the whole album, honestly. There may be a few that I don't like, but I could list them all, right? Testimony is one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
I could sing that whole thing by heart. I could name them in order too, probably. I think it's Identity Theft.
Yes.
Mosh Pit with Juice WRLD.
Yeah.
There's a Lil Pump song in there. I forget what it's called. Gnarly. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I could go on and on, man.
Yeah.
I know his songs very well. Yeah.
That was the first Kodak project that I listened to from start to finish. So I've just been hearing so much about it, and it was like, I love those songs that you mentioned, or most of them. I also really liked In the Flesh.
In the Flesh was good. Yep. Close to the Grave. Yeah, you got me rolling now, man. I can name that.
Got you rolling in peace.
Yeah, rolling in peace, man. That's a good album too. You should listen to it.
Yeah.
Project Baby 2. A lot of songs on there, but they're all good.
For
In my
real.
opinion, but
What do you think of like Kodak Black just has so many funny moments. Like
he does. He's a comedian.
yeah, he's hilarious. I remember one time he was he was in a car or something like that, and he was
I'm
like
a suburban boy.
Yeah, it's like I'm not a project baby because I don't say the projects anymore. I'm a suburban dude.
I'm a suburban dude. I always. How does he come up with this stuff? It's oh man, that was funny, and it was. I don't know if it was a part 2, but I remember he was talking to his white neighbors like in the same voice.
Oh,
that's something you got to watch too. And man, he's just such a funny dude.
Yeah, he's hilarious, bro. And I think there's one that was like, my name is Kodak Black, but I'm white. Send me, bro.
When I saw that, did you watch the whole thing?
No, I didn't watch the whole thing.
Oh my god, it's by this guy Caleb Presley on Barstool. Man, that's the funniest interview series of all time. He got this big dude in the back eating ice cream randomly, and then he's interviewing people and asking them all these out of pocket questions. And Kodak was one of those guys who was not phased. He would go right back.
Wow.
Right back and saying the randomest stuff, and man, that was one funny interview, man.
Man, he's definitely a character for real, dog. Man, it's funny though.
Oh yeah, I'm glad he's out of jail. Yeah, his music was kind of mid coming out of jail, but he blew up with Super Gremlin. His album was all right, but I'm just waiting for him to get back to where he was.
In old days.
Old days.
Transporting, got the bag in him like you transporting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Good song. Transporting, painting pictures, Little Big Pot. I mean, that was his peak. It was crazy back when he was like 17, right?
Yeah.
But that's how rappers are. You notice that? Like Chief Keef's never got back to when he was 17. Lil Mosey. I feel like the man.
Freshman of the year, I woke up like the man. Honestly, before the freestyle, like I voted for him because I think he deserved it based off his numbers.
He did deserve it,
yeah. But even going into it, I was like, he doesn't seem like someone who can freestyle. He seems like someone who punches in and makes melodies.
Yeah.
And obviously that happened. They went viral.
Yeah. That was an interesting one. It was with Megan Thee Stallion, DaBaby,
YK
Osiris. Man, Megan Thee Stallion honestly was the best one off there. Maybe DaBaby, but yeah, YK sold. I mean, I'm not even gonna speak on Lil Mosey, man. He was not prepared or something.
He was not, but he was a good sport about it because I think he was like posting memes.
I saw that.
Yeah.
What can you do, man? He knew he.
Yeah, for real. Megan went crazy though.
She did. I don't even listen to her that much, but like I remember watching that cypher. Maybe it was because she went after Lil Mosey. I don't know. But I love Lil Mosey. No hate, but yeah, she went off that cypher. I remember that. Yes, sir.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, so now we have the Oluswole Bowl. It's part of the podcast where we ask you some off-the-cuff questions.
Got you.
So first of all, first question is, would you rather be able to see 5 minutes into the future all the time or be able to see 100 years into the future all the time?
It's a good question. Selfishly, you want to see 5 minutes into the future because you don't want to die. But, maybe you can't change what you see, so that kind of ruins it. So I'd say 100 years in the future, man. I want to know where we're going. And I think I'm more of a big picture person anyway, so I would like to see what we're doing in 100 years. I don't care about 5 minutes in the future,
That's fair. Painting big pictures.
That's right. Painting pictures. Yeah.
Okay. Good response. I'd also agree with you because if seeing into the future isn't going to affect the outcome of what happens, might as well see into the long term and see what's up. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And would you rather have an immortal Bumblebee friend or an immortal Wasp friend?
Bumblebee, man.
Really?
I mean, I guess if they're your friends, but I feel like that wasp just, if it gets mad at you, you're over. It's over for you, man. He's just gonna sting you and sting you. You can't kill him.
I don't know. I feel like it would be kind of a boss move rolling out with a wasp. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. How big are they? Same, just regular?
Just regular, like regular wasp.
Yeah, Bumblebee's kind of, it's kind of too cute, right? A little circular, looks like a little grape.
Yeah.
Maybe you're convincing me. Will it, as long as it doesn't sting me, I think I'd run a wasp friend.
Yeah.
Will it stay my wasp friend forever, too?
Yeah, for life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No. Yeah, I want a wasp.
Yes, sir. And would you rather be famous when you're alive and forgotten once you're gone, or be unknown throughout your life? Not unknown, like not famous throughout your life, and then become famous after you leave the earth.
After, man, for sure. I don't. Yeah, it's a good question too. But I think legacy is important. And there's a lot of people that are famous during their lives, and no one knows who they are in the next year. But I mean, obviously, by the fact that we remember them, everyone we know in the past, we know them because like they died and then they're famous now. And a lot of them weren't famous back when they were alive. I'm thinking like, I don't know. I don't want to speak wrong and get it wrong, but a lot of artists, a lot of authors, even historical figures, I'm sure were not particularly famous or well known or even well liked during their time. But as the years rolled on, their like true genius and contribution to society kind of came out, because only the important people are remembered, for good or bad, right?
That's true. Yeah. I definitely agree. Well, I agree with your, like, how you broke it down, like your reasoning. I totally agree with that. But I just feel like, because once you're gone, right, even if everyone remembers you, you only be there to see them remember you, It's
interesting. Yeah, I think this is one of those things that you say it, I'll say this, but then obviously if I can take the chance to be famous now and be loved when I'm alive, you'd probably take it, right?
Probably. Yeah.
It's one of those things. And especially if you're the price of being famous, like in history, is being a miserable wrench when you're alive. Like you would want to think that you'd take that sacrifice, but I don't think you would, right?
Yeah.
It's hard living a hard life, by definition. So, but I don't know. Like, so, yeah, it's one of those things, right? Some days you want to be great, and some days you just want to, get a family, settle down, make some money. But I don't know. What do you think about that?
I think I'm leaning towards famous while alive, just because you only have one shot at this thing. So, I mean, it's not my goal to become famous, but if you're looking at those two options, I would go for that one, just so I can see what it's like, being in that space whilst alive. Because once you're dead, like, you won't be able to really reap the benefits. But even if your legacy is more impactful, it's just kind of hard to really see what's going on. It depends on what you value, I guess.
Yeah, and it also depends on why you're famous when you're alive and why you're famous when you're dead, right?
That's also true, yeah. I didn't consider that. Famous for positive reasons, yeah. If it's famous for like I don't know, being the first person to have a podcast that flopped, I wouldn't want to be.
You won't be the first, man. I'll tell you that. But that's an interesting question. Like, I don't know, man. Legacy is just, it's one of those things that are just so hard to define, and being known through history. I guess in the end, like, why does that matter, right? If you can help people and touch people in this life, and even if no one remembers you later, if you've done the right thing, that has maybe even more value than being known in history as the person who did this or that.
For sure, I like that spin. Yeah, for real. Definitely important to be considerate. Yeah, I remember something you wrote about in that article about I think it was the article about COVID, and it was your Tallahassee top senior article. Oh. And you talked about like wanting to help people. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that ties in well with what I saw there.
Yeah, I mean, it's an idealistic thing to say. it's something, and it's a bland thing to say, obviously, but I think it is an important thing. And if you're not going forward in your own life with that in mind, I think there's a mismatch in priorities, right? What other reason is there to live with other people without, bringing others with you, right?
It gets lonely at the top,
That's true.
Yeah.
Would you rather be the Bill Gates, who had to do, who knows what to get where he was, and now you're giving out all the money, or would you rather be that person that everyone loves and you're helping them when you're coming up? What do you think?
If I'm the second option, how much money do I have?
Less, right? So you're probably helping like one person here, giving someone change here.
But like net worth wise, am I just like, I'm still doing well financially, but just not like
you're on the
Bill
edge.
Gates?
You're on the edge.
Okay.
And yeah. But Bill Gates, like, you had to do some crazy to get there, right? You had to like strip some countries, mess up some economies. But then you get that money and then you spend it where you want, and you're going to spend it good.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a good question. Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, I lean towards, because I've never been obsessed with the idea of becoming a billionaire or being the richest person in the world. I just want to have money, be able to use that for good, and also use that to enjoy myself too. So lean towards the second one. But I say that, but I've never had anything close to billions of dollars before. So you don't know how the money will influence your decisions.
Yeah. I guess one of the biggest things that we'll have to worry about and think about is scale, as we go forward. Like, how big do you want your impact or your career to be, right? Do you want to do something that's going to help your family and that's, that's the end, and you want to live like a good life for yourself? Or do you want to help, donate money to a charity every so often? Or do you want to be like bigger than that, right? It's all about scale. Run your own company, run a country.
Running a company would be cool though.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that goes into it,
That's facts.
You're gonna have. It's a corporate world's tough, man.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to eat some people alive to get to the top, unless you're starting your own, and then you got to eat yourself. But
food chain.
Yeah. It's ruthless, man.
For real.
Ruthless out there. So it'll be tough to keep your morals, but I hope you do.
Yeah. I think you will too.
I hope so, man.
Yeah.
I think I would.
Yeah.
If we don't do it, who's going to do it, right?
So thanks for coming on the podcast, man. Appreciate the time.
Yeah, this is awesome. My first podcast, and it was a great conversation.
Yeah, it's definitely fun. Oluswole is up on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. We're on TikTok, so, Corvette.
Follow him.
Yes, sir.
Get that man's followers up.
For real, bro. Appreciate it. And thank you guys for listening, and peace.
Peace out.